This generation is cooked. So many things about this generation are like the video games of this generation. It's just so out there that we have to talk about that. Budget arms. Weapons you could get in a budget. Second Amendment is not only for the rich. They have a nice variety of cheap weapons from young to old. It doesn't matter your race or condition. You could have a weapon to protect yourself today. Budget arms. First of all, let me tell you where I'm coming from. I was just in a normal day looking up YouTube videos, exploring topics. And I run into this interview made by Jesse Lee Patterson of this immigrant that is from Singapore, and he feels very ungrateful and he feels entitled to be here in America. You could look it up. And in contrast to that, I was looking like right after that, I saw another interview which shocked me. It's from Yeomi Park. She is a escapee from North Korea. And the contrast between those two types of immigrants, how her point of view and how grateful she was to be here compared to this guy from Singapore really shattered and broke my mind in ways I never thought before. In ways, and to be honest, this might have, or not might have, this definitely changed how I view my place in politics. The thing about it is that obviously here in America, there's a lot of problems. In a personal note, what gets me personally about everything is how the government decides to help everything that is in America. Like they decide to help all the allies, basically. And I agree with helping the allies. This is America. We should aid our allies. That's why they're our allies. And they're going to come to our aid at one point. That's the hope. That's why we got allies. The whole problem with that is that there's so many problems in America between the disparity of rich and poor. It has a lot to do with it, and the cost of living, especially with paying rent nowadays. Like these things are big problems that aren't solved here in America, and in politics they tend to go out of their way to help other countries that are in need, where in reality there's a lot of places here in our own country that have the same amount of problems in poverty and suffering and hunger, that then they don't do anything about it. That there is no, like, work, you can't go to somebody else's house to fix it if your house is a mess. Fix your own house, then you could fix somebody else's house. And the view I have on these two groups is the most basic views, the ones they give me. Like all I could say, excuse me, all I could really say about these two groups, the red and the blue one, is that what they show me, and I will like give you the most basic understanding of me and these two groups. And I have lived in America for a long time. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a Puerto Rican. I am an American. I'm American. I don't claim to be Puerto Rican American. I'm American. I've been here most of my life. And yes, we are a colony. We are part of America. It's like there's a party. There's a party, and a lot of people jump into the party without being invited, and they want a piece of cake. While me, as a Puerto Rican, I was invited to this party. So that's the way I see it. The other thing is my view in politics, American politics, has always been a view from kind of the outside, because I'm still learning about all this because it's very confusing to me personally. But like I said, I'm gonna give you the most basic understanding of how I see these two groups. First of all, let's talk about the blue group. The blue group, what gets me and my understanding about the blue group is that they tend to always have an agenda. They have an agenda and they follow their agenda. They always follow their agenda and what they're gonna say, what they're gonna agree to, what they're not gonna see or what they're gonna see. They always have an agenda, a plan, a game plan into that it has to fit our narrative. And that kind of bothers me. I don't like that. It feels very fake. It feels like if it didn't follow their narrative, they would just do a quick U-turn and go the other way. And that's one of the first things that gets me about the blue group. Like, I'm like, dude, like, you guys just decide not to see a lot of things because it doesn't follow your agenda. And that's the first thing that bothers me about that group. The second thing is that the blue group, I feel like the blue group feels that's the big thing, right? Their feelings. They feel a lot. They feel a lot. Everything is like, well, I feel things shouldn't be that way. Or I feel, and it's usually that sentence exactly is I and then feel. Like it's like singular, only them, only their point of view and their feelings. It's like who cares? Like your point of view and your feelings, who cares? There's so many of us and we all feel in different ways. What the hell are you talking about? And that's one of the big problems with the blue group. Like, and they tend to cry a lot because their feelings are hurt. They try to cry a lot, and you know what's crazy in America? One of the things that makes America so amazing is that it doesn't matter how you feel or how people make you feel. You always have the opportunity to do amazing, to do great. It doesn't take opportunity from you. It doesn't matter if you feel less or you feel whatever. You have as much opportunity to be in top of the world as anybody else.
You know what I like most about Night City?
What did that be?
Take a look. See that? One day you're in the gutter, the next, you got the whole city at your feet. The whole fucking city!
Where no one can make you do shit!
So one of the things that really gets me is that they tend to cry victim so much. And it's one of the things I already relate to the blue team. I instantly relate that to them immediately. And on top of that, the next thing is that they're so entitled. They feel entitled. They feel entitled to their feelings above everybody else's. They're entitled to their freedom before everybody else's. Entitled to their views and their way, and they have this aura of entitlement. Like I don't know why. I don't know what the hell is going on. But the blue team always feels over their head in the clouds of entitlement, to the point where everybody has to conform to what they want, conform to how they see things, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see your point of view. And you could be there for hours explaining your point of view and showing them facts, and they decide to put this blindfold that they just don't see it by choice. And it just really gets to me. It really does get to me. But on top of all of that, I really think the way they come off to me is how aggressive they are. They're very animated. They're very, like, if they don't get their way, they're like very agitated, and they've shown to be very aggressive and violent. Very aggressive and violent. I'm like, dude, like, what the hell? This is not how we talk. It's almost like the dumbest way you could possibly do things. Like, if you want people to see your point of view, you talk. We have conversations. We talk about this. Diplomacy. Well, they act in the most primal way, which is like kids. No, they become violent immediately. And that's one of the main things that really turns me off about it.
Let's roll.
Like, why the aggressiveness? Why, you know, you gotta accept people have the same freedoms you do and their points of views and stuff like this. Like, and this pointless aggressive aura. The aggressive aura. So aggressive. So ready to be insulted before they even enter the door type of vibe. And I just can't, I can't process it. I'm like, why? I'd rather not engage. I'd rather not even have this conversation because you're just going to be violent. You're not civil. You're not civil. You're just going to be violent. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And that interview was especially the point of view that Singapore man had. Like I said, it was an interview with Jesse Lee Patterson, and he was just, oh my God, it made me feel so like, oh my God, why that point of view? Why this? Like, Jesus Christ, if you're in America, it's my belief that you come to America to be an American. If you really, really care, you're an American. You follow American values. You, like, I'm from where I am, so I eat my food and I do my things, but I'm an American. I love burgers. I love beef. I love America to the point where I'm very proud to be an American. I love everything America. I love the hilariousness and over the topness of the America joke and style, and it's just like I love it, and I love the whole vibe, and I'm very happy to be here. And I'm very happy to be an American. And like, that's the way it should be. You should, like, yes, you could be you and your culture, but you're supposed to, in my eyes, assimilate to America. I'm not supposed to come over here and make a little tiny Puerto Rico. I'm supposed to come over here and contribute to the system and be part of the system, be part of the culture over here, bring a little bit of food because food makes everybody happy, and just live, not enforce my culture, my way on everybody else and my views, and I'm not supposed to. I'm over here always. I started out as a guest and now I'm one of the people. I am an American by right, born American, and I'm grateful. I couldn't be more blessed to have internet, a comfortable bed, shelter, like the medical system. Yes, we got to pay for a lot of things, but it's a good medical system. We're not over here drinking dirty water and getting sick. We are blessed. We are blessed. And it's very hard for me to see people that come from places that they don't want to be in and come over here and then be so ungrateful, bro. Like, I'm like, dude, like, what is going on? So that's why I really respect and really love the viewpoint of Yeonmi Park, that lady that escaped North Korea and found her way to America. I wish her the best, really. I have so much. Wow, that was amazing to me. That interview, that kind of like thing she did, where everybody was asking her questions. That's what I saw, and her answers were on point. I like that. I see it, and it's worth helping people like that. It's worth helping people that truly are in need and truly are their lives are in danger, and they come over here for asylum, and they're truly grateful every second, grateful every moment, and that's something wholesome to see. Like you're like, yes, welcome. You know, nowadays I don't know what to think about the American dream, considering how everything is so expensive. The American dream might be dead, but at the end of the day, isn't the American dream the freedom to say whatever you want to say without being persecuted? The right to live where you want to live, the right to be rock bottom in the gutter and the next day be on top of the world. We all have that freedom. We have the freedom for capitalism and free market, and we have these freedoms whether we like it or not. But let's leave it like that. Let's talk about the red side, the red team, the red side, which, like I said, the most basic understanding I have from what they show me is that the first thing is that they're considered very dumb. They're considered very like basic thought, like very dumbed down, and they tend, something that I understand personally is that they tend to be very paranoid. My God, they're paranoid. They're paranoid about the government. They're paranoid about the culture. They're paranoid about the everything. They're paranoid about yesterday and they're paranoid about tomorrow. They're just living this constant state of paranoia. And that's why they buy a lot of guns. They're gun ho, I tell you that. And I totally support that. Like, to be honest, I think more violence is created by the blue team that doesn't have guns than by the red team that has so many guns. I hear very little about the red team with their guns, even though they're fully armed. Like, dude, like I am so, and the way they're so, they don't trust their government at all. They're always totally ready to flip the switch. That's one of the things, like, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live paranoid. Yes, it's common sense that you shouldn't trust the government and everything, but at the same time, I don't think the government is out to get you, bro. I really don't think the government is out to get you. The government don't care, bro. Like, you're not affecting their pocket. They don't care. They don't care, bro. Like, it's all about money. This is corporate America. It's not like they don't care. They don't care. They're not trying to take your guns. They're not trying to, like, but that aside. So the worst thing I think is related to the red team is racism. Why? Because there's a lot of groups that tend to be very racist that affiliate with them and stand side by side. A lot of times stand side by side with them, and I'm like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, there's so many things I agree with, but that's the one thing that gets me. Like, you gotta stop that. You gotta stand your ground and fully state that you do not stand by these racist comments and these racist points of view, because that's just tearing you down. You understand? And a lot of people are turned off, even if they agreed 90% or 99% with everything that team has. It only takes that 1%, because it's a very strong 1%. Being like racist groups like that is very shocking. It's very shocking. You understand? Even though, as my experience as a Latino person, I swear that every time I hear anything about color, it is usually from colored folks themselves. I'm like, dude, like, I don't think anybody talks about that besides you guys. Like, I don't think nobody cares. But at the same time, I'm not gonna say there aren't a lot of damn racist it's a lot of discrimination and stuff. But when it comes to like constantly living in that vibe, is always the same people always live, they constantly live in that vibe. And that is something that I'm not gonna understand. Like, dude, I swear, like, you're more hard on yourself than society itself. But then another thing related to the red team is they tend to be rich. They're either dirt trailer park poor, or they're rich, and usually the rich lean on the red side. They because there's so many benefits for them to be on the red side, that usually the rich, no matter if what their color is, they tend to be like, I hate that. See, I hate saying that. Like, color shouldn't matter. It's just your merits and your value is what should matter. Like, just like if you get a job, you should just get a job because you're good at it. And you shouldn't really even mention color or origin at all. It's ridiculous to me. Like, why are we in this page? Why even think about it? But that's just me. That's just me. Like I was saying, the rich tend to be super in the red side because there's a lot, they protect a lot of laws that protect them. So at this, this is my basic understanding of the two groups, considering that the red group tends to be highly Christian, and or like the fundamental values of society and the roots. And I really like that. I do gotta say, I really like that. I like that they stick to the classics. The classics, while the blue group tends to be very inclusive, to the point where even if they're including people that are not helping, since it fits their agenda, they're gonna do it. And that's what I don't like about the blue team. I'm like, dude, it doesn't make any sense. This group you're adding does not help, but it fits their agenda, so they don't care. That's all, as long as it follows their politics. So at the end of the day, everything I see is what I believe. Everything that they show me, everything that they're like, that's how they're portrayed like that for a reason. Stereotypes happen for a reason, and that's what they've created for themselves, for people to see them. And that's how I see these two groups. This is how they have affected me through their actions. And it is what it is at the end of the day. And making choices is important, especially nowadays. Book yourself a vacation in sunny Somalia, 50% off. It's the best destination for vacationing, according to Night City Journal. Get your trip today. Now, living in America, I do gotta acknowledge that there's a lot of public spaces and a lot of locations that were once beautiful places and safe to like go with your family and children, have turned into these places where you don't even want to look. You don't even want to look at. They've run down, and a lot of this has to do with the increase of cost of living, the increase of rent, and general basic necessities that has created this disparity in America. But also a lot of the politics behind the immigration laws that I gotta say, it's not helping that we're like getting so many people. We're getting so many people up in here, and the situation is not great for us. That's one of the main things, the main issues that completely bother me the most, because it's like I keep saying, we're in so much need right here at home. We're in so much need right here at home, and they keep pushing to send money and aid to other places when they haven't fixed home. They're not concentrated on home. Home should be the front. Like, the first place you take care of should be your home. And it really bothers me. It really bothers me, and it's impossible to not see that the influx of immigration is not helping. Is not helping because if we can't afford a lot of things, if we can't have a good life ourselves, why would we be able to provide a good life for more people? Why would we be able to do that where we could barely hold it together ourselves? And that is one of the main issues that needs to be addressed, in my opinion, because there's a lot of places, especially the places where the blue group tends to reside. They agree with this and they decide to put a blindfold on just because it fits, like I said, their agenda. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The point of there's gonna be a point where it's gonna turn full dystopian. It's gonna turn full dystopian. It's gonna be they're gonna regret it. It's gonna be ridiculous. That's why I'm such a big supporter at the same part of your right to bear arms. Your right as an American, your freedom to defend your family and go to shooting ranges and have hell of a fun shooting all types of weapons. I'm a big supporter of this. I'm a big supporter of the right to defend you, your family, your loved ones, your country. Like, this is something I really believe, and it's your right as an American to bear arms. This is one of your freedoms, included with voting, because of course that's the number one thing. And with all of this comes a lot of crime. Comes a lot of crime because this desperate times call for desperate measures. And unfortunately, a lot of these people that aren't, not only they're not grateful, they also bring a lot of their habits. They bring a lot of their habits. And I'm not talking about the good habits, which is food and music, because we all appreciate food and music, no problem. I'm talking about habits like they're criminals over there and they come over here and they feel like they could get away with it. And a lot of that has to do because they can get away with it. The system is broken. And they just go all out and do whatever. And it especially affects me, especially at heart. It really affects me when young people are affected by these crimes. Young people that have their whole life ahead of them, and something happens by somebody who is not actually supposed to be here, by somebody that's actually shouldn't be here, and their life is affected for the rest of their life because of that. Because this person that was not supposed to be here did something. And me personally, as a person that was affected by identity theft, because I'm Puerto Rican, so identity theft for us is a big thing. I have done nothing to no one, and that didn't stop people from affecting me. What did I do to you? Why was I a victim of identity theft, which affects me, my income, my family? You're basically taking food from the mouth of my children because you want to feed yours. How is that my problem? I'm here. I did everything right. And you come in and you want to do right by you, so you steal from me. So there's a lot of this rabbit hole goes deep, and it also affects decisions, the politics decisions, and I would say a lot of people in this next election are going to be very affected by these decisions and these effects, and seeing all this happen. And it only takes one. It only takes one to change the view for the many. It's just like life. That's how life is. You only need one bad apple. You only need one mistake. It doesn't matter how much good you did your whole life. You only need one mistake to ruin your whole life. And that's how it is in general. Like, it only takes one person, one mistake, one act of evil for the whole group to fall. And it just is how it is. Prejudice and all these are just gonna be a thing. They're not gonna go away. Unfortunately, the way I see it is that a lot of the school system has been affected by a lot of brainwashing, a lot of thoughts that are not helpful for the next generation. And that goes to contribute to how the American dream is dying, because it's not quite dead yet. But the way the school system is affected nowadays, especially right now that you can see it everywhere, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. And I have kids. I care. It really matters. It matters a lot. Budget Arms has convenient vending machines all throughout the city. You could get one in any color you desire. For 100 eddies, you could buy yourself a defensive weapon that you need in the moment. These are 3D printed guns. They're plastic. They hold 36 rounds. You could just get it and defend yourself right there. Those Budget Armed guns. This is how they do their business, where anybody could defend themselves. As you can see right here, do not reload. It just breaks after you use all your rounds. But if you want 36 more rounds, you could play 100 eddies again and get yourself a different color. You don't know. Maybe you want to rock your defense in style. Budget Arms, conveniently placed in the worst ghettos. Get yours today. That's just my way of emphasizing how much of a dystopian world we're really ending up in, like the timeline we're in. And that's why I say the next generation is cooked. That's why I say that it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. People are not gonna want to see what's gonna happen, and that's just my point of view. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just saying how the new generation thinks, and it's being brainwashed. But this is all just my opinion. This is not based on facts for sure. This is just how I view the world. And it will be very interesting if you give me your thoughts in the comments on how I view the world. At the end of the day, it's just another entertainment video, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, because I will be here making more